Welcome to A Gay A NonGay. I'm James Barr. I'm gay. He's Dan Hudson.
And I'm non-gay.
And his family are very disappointed about it.
Well, I mean, quite possibly. We'd like to start each episode with a question from the non-gays. So
yes, because you guys just don't get enough airtime.
Yeah, basically. So if there's something you've always been wondering, you've always wanted to ask a gay person, but you've never had the opportunity.
Yes.
Get in touch. Today's question comes from David. Why do gays like to fanny around?
Right. Well,
so much.
Okay.
And that's a good point, actually, David.
Is it?
Yeah. And this is quite topical because I was at a wedding last night, which was not a gay wedding, but it was an Asian wedding. And it was the...
Why is that important?
Just because...
I don't know why you're just telling me that it's an Asian wedding.
Well, because they famously like to sort of fanny around quite a lot at these events. So it reminded me of gay events where I've been to, where I've been like...
This is just so problematic. It's like when you sit down with your mum and she's like, oh, I had a massage earlier. Oh, really lovely. Yeah, it was a lovely Asian girl. Like, why is that important?
Well, I think it is important.
Aren't all weddings a fanny? Can we just... The word fanny is very gendered. I just want to pick up on that, David. I know that was your word and Dan's repeating it.
Well...
That's not really funny. It's not big and it's not clever.
Well, what would you say?
It's not really okay to say fanny. Like, I don't know why you're using that term. Well, I feel like we need a whole episode on that. Why is it fannying around?
Because dicking around is not as... It's not as vivid.
It's like when people say women are hysterical. They'd rarely use that word about a man. I think it's laid in patriarchal, societal shame about having a vagina. Not that I have one, but I can understand how a woman would feel when they hear the words fanny around.
But I think that phrase is embedded in the culture to such an extent that girls use that term all the time.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's right, does it?
But there's just no other term.
Yes, there is.
What's the term?
You literally mean faffing.
I guess so.
I don't understand what he means by fannying around. I think that's really gendered.
Right.
I don't like it. So there's that. And I don't know what you mean by saying that an Asian wedding is the same, because every wedding I've ever been to is so long, delayed, boring, drawn out. They're all the same script, yet somehow different. Everyone's having the most magical time. And I'm the only person seemingly sat there going, this is exactly the same as every other wedding I've ever been to.
Right.
Like, this is the same.
Yeah.
The cake's the same. The best man's speech is literally the same. It's literally like everyone just decide. It's so boring.
Right.
I'm so sorry to everyone that's ever got married, but your wedding is boring.
Right.
I don't want to be there. So Dan and I missed all of Brat Summer, which I'm furious about because I feel like there's so much we've missed there.
Right.
But happy end of Brat Summer. What did you do in New York? Did you celebrate Brat Summer?
No, I don't think.
Not at all.
I'm aware of what it is, but I don't really know what that would entail me doing.
Well, what did you do this summer? I'll tell you if it was Brat.
I did a lot of running, a lot of comedy.
Comedy is Brat.
Is it?
I guess so.
Why?
Because it's messy.
Right. Okay, cool.
Did you fuck any men?
No.
I guess that's not very Brat. What did you do then?
Well, just the aforementioned.
What? You faffed around?
I wouldn't describe it as that, but...
What did you do?
So I did loads of running, loads of comedy.
Yeah.
I went to Chicago to Lollapalooza Fest. I went to upstate New York.
What do you think of the differences between London and New York as a straight person? Because we asked Rod Bright Light that on our episode with him recently. I love that episode, by the way. Check out that interview if you haven't heard it.
I found it a little bit easier to be myself and be not ashamed of who I was in New York, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's heartbreaking, but I think it's actually...
Well, heartbreak feels good in a place like this, James, so
we're honestly, okay. I get it.
In London/the UK, people faff around way too much. A lot of English people don't have a work ethic that I personally find quite frustrating being here.
Do you not think the work ethic in America is pretty toxic? Because you get less holidays.
Yeah.
You don't have healthcare unless you have a job.
Yeah.
Therefore, you can be really stuck.
Yeah.
In a terrible situation.
Yeah, I do think that, yeah.
So I don't know if what you said really rings true, really.
Well, both of those things can be true at the same time, can't they?
Yeah.
And I guess
my question, what's the difference between being a straight man in America and or New York and London, was more geared at the crack is good, the women are hot, the bars are better, I love going to concerts, there's more going on. I don't know. But then you went down some weird...
Well, that's the thing that I noticed viscerally. But yeah, all of the above is probably true.
Can we talk about me now?
I guess so.
Okay. Yeah, Edinburgh went really well. Thank you for asking.
What are the differences between London and Edinburgh?
Oh my God, the weather. Actually, the weather's pretty Edinburgh right now in London, but the weather was so annoying.
Right.
You can't go anywhere without having a full day's worth of
Yeah.
clothing options, because it might rain, it might be sunny, it might be boiling, you might get sunburn,
Yeah.
you might get wet, you might get cold. The wind kept slapping me in the face.
Yeah.
But apart from the weather, I had an amazing time. I loved being there. The people are really great. It was a really good experience, actually. Like doing my show, talking about my experience, meeting people that had been through the same thing. I could have probably just gone to group therapy. It might have been cheaper to do that. But I had a great time. I saw that you were stuck on Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
Was that because of Oasis?
Yes, obviously. Like, why
Well,
else?
I don't know. Do
Why
I?
else would it be?
Are you an Oasis? I don't know anything about Oasis, really. Are you a fan?
Well, you don't not know anything about Oasis.
Well, they've got some good melodies, but that's about it.
right.
I don't
Well,
really.
is that not enough? Is that not the be all and end all?
I don't like them really.
Is it because they're very straight?
Yeah, it does feel like a straight pride,
Right.
doesn't it?
Not really.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Not really.
It's
like,
the most enormous ticket event I've seen for straight people since, well, ever.
right.
You know, gays get excited about Mighty Hoopla, Kylie at Hyde Park, Glastonbury to an extent. This was just all the straights. I definitely wouldn't want to go there.
Well, you don't have to go.
So you're into it then?
Yeah, of course.
Go on, talk to me.
They're just amazing songs, amazing frontman, amazing.
Who's the front man?
Liam Gallagher.
Nah,
obviously.
he's a cunt.
Why is it?
Because he's homophobic.
I don't think he is.
Yes, he is. He said loads of homophobic shit.
Yeah, but I think everybody was just saying.
That's not an excuse.
Well,
He's never apologized for it, has he? It's not okay that you're all just like, oh my God, yeah, they're legends. Like, they're the best rock band in the world. Like, no one's ever competed with them. Oh, and it's fine they were a bit homophobic. And I'm not just drilling it down to that. Like, there's loads of other reasons that they're annoying.
like what?
Like, you know, just the lad culture of it all. The bucket hats.
What's the beef? It protects all of your head from the
God.
sun. So
Right. So you going then? Did you get tickets?
I didn't get a ticket, no. But I mean, I've got a year to work that out.
Do you think they'll do like costume changes and stuff like that?
No,
do you
I
think-
really hate. I hate costume changes.
Do you think there'll be like VT and stuff? They'll have to do something. They can't just stand there with guitars.
Well, they can.
That's so boring.
It's not really.
You can't just stand there with bucket hats, guitars, and jump around like you're 15.
Why not?
Because that's lame. You need some production.
No.
Think there'll be dancers.
No.
No dancers.
Well, obviously not.
Well, they have a band with them.
What does that mean?
Like, are there going to be other people on stage?
Well, Oasis are a band, so yeah.
What?
But they're not just going to get some.
Who are the other guys?
Well, obviously, there's more than two people in any band.
I mean, I didn't know that.
Well, you do know that.
No, they have actual other members.
I genuinely don't know how to respond to that.
Because no one ever talks about them.
Well, if you listen to a song, you can hear that there's a vocalist and that there's more than one guitar.
Yeah, but Charlie
and that there's-
XCX has that going on as well, but you don't necessarily know who those people are, do you? She works with
because
producers and
she's-
stuff.
Yeah,
so.
because she's a solo performer. But Oasis, they actually, in that respect, they hark back to an era where everybody, when bands like that were around, everybody knew who all the members
So the other
were.
members of the band will be there.
Well, obviously, otherwise it would just be called Noel and Liam Gallagher.
Well, I don't know.
Play
do
the
I?
hits of
You're
Oasis.
saying obviously, like.
Well, obviously that's Oasis.
No, you're talking to
Obviously
me like I'm thick, but I don't know this because.
Well, as I just said, if you listen to a song, you can hear that there's a vocal and guitars and drums.
Yeah, but you can hear that on loads of songs. It doesn't mean
Right,
that they
well,
have the
that's-
same band members every time. They might just have a band that turns up and does it.
Yeah, but they are a band.
So, like, the Script are a band,
yeah,
like with other members.
yeah,
They have a specific cast that show up with them.
yeah.
They'll have fireworks, right?
Maybe, probably, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, do you think they'll do that thing that Coldplay do, where everyone's got like a wristband
I doubt
and
it.
it lights up at different points,
I doubt it.
so it looks like visually cool?
I doubt it.
Can I be honest? I don't think it's that I'm that bothered by Oasis. Like, I mean, yeah, the homophobia annoys me and that lad culture annoys me, but it's not really them or their art that I have an issue with. I get frustrated at the way a certain subculture of people get on board things, not because it's popular or because they were the biggest band ever, but because they think it gives them permission to act in a certain way or behave in a certain way.
Right.
Like those tweets from Andrew Tate.
But then,
Right, like where it's all like, oh, you know, it was when you could go to the pub and you wouldn't get shot. It empowers like right wing nonsense, and it's the same as people that get annoyed about like Doctor Who being too gay or Star Wars being too gay now because they hired a non-binary person, or the people that get annoyed by like Snow White casting a black Snow White. It's just it's all that shit. Like Oasis. And it's not their fault, but it kind of is because of the homophobia I mentioned and all the other nonsense I touched on. It empowers a subculture of EDF Tommy Robinson right-wing rioters, I think, to celebrate a win. And I don't like that. That's what annoys me about it.
Yeah, I don't think that's fair, really. I think,
But it's true, though.
I think there's a minority of people.
And it's true for everything. It's true for the Spice Girls empowering, you know, women or gay people to be really annoying for a weekend if they go and see them live. Like, you know, or hen parties to get really drunk. Like, we all do it.
Yeah.
Every single subculture does it. But that one specifically is a trigger for me. It's like when I'm on the train during a football match. Or just after a football match, and loads of lads just think it's okay to start being misogynist because they're all together.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like about it. It's the same thing I don't like about watching football hooligans.
Yeah. I think
Oasis is that vibe. It's like football hooliganism.
I get the point.
It's empowering
but
that.
I think, I don't know if I agree. I get that. I do take the point, but I think that's just such a tiny minority.
But it's not though, is it?
It is. Like the football example, it's an extremely tiny majority of like football fans that give everybody else a bad name. Like most people who go to the football are just like normal people who work in banks.
It's straight pride.
Yeah, I mean,
it just is. And I've been a hooligan at Gay Pride. You know, I've wolf whistled at guys that aren't gay just to be provocative and annoying because it's my turn to get my own back on all the hate I've received.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I've done that in the past. But that's what this does. It gives you a chance to, and that's not pride, by the way, but that was me.
Yeah,
at Pride once.
I think we're just talking about such a tiny minority.
I don't think, well, it isn't a minority when it's millions of people. It's like hundreds of thousands of people.
You can't tell
up.
me that it's millions of people who are
I just think
homophobic.
Oasis haven't done anything good.
Yeah, but
they haven't been a force for good in the world.
Okay, well, I guess I disagree with that.
Okay, so what have they done?
Well, they've made amazing music.
That's not a force for good.
Yeah, of course it is.
Not when Liam Gallagher is out there calling people batty boys.
But that
and
doesn't
slagging off Little Mix.
One doesn't equate.
Like, where have they been good? Like, where's their philanthropy?
But that's when.
What have they done to like make it a welcome space for everyone?
Well, just by making like amazing music that inherently brings people together. But we don't throw that at anybody else. We celebrate quote unquote Brat Summer, which is
philanthropy is probably, it's an interesting one to throw out. I'm not saying that that's necessarily a good thing anyway, but I was just clutching at straws with Oasis because I know they haven't been pro-LGBT or supportive of women's rights or whatever. Like, I don't see them being a force for good in the world other than making good melodies. So that's why I said philanthropy. I was clutching at a straw. Of course, I don't know what Charlie XCX has been doing either, but I do know her music is inclusive and supposedly for everyone. Even if you don't like it. What we're
circling around is the fact that like Brat Summer and that thing is very drug friendly, and it's very like she takes lots of cocaine, right? And like that is,
does she?
That is not a force for good.
I don't know. She does take cocaine.
I think that's extremely implicit. Do you not think so?
I don't know.
Well, I think I do, and I'm
not sure she sang that in a song.
No, but it's extremely implicit.
You know, she's not called Charlie because of that. That's nothing to do.
No, I know, but she does. She does promote.
I don't think she does. She had a poster with a sandwich bag on it. If that's what you're getting at.
Well, what does that mean then?
Well, it's a sandwich bag, isn't
it?
Right. Bye. Thanks for listening.
See you later.